Adopay, a very great gentleman, is seated in my studio. My name is Sam Ankra Achi, na Membano Akwaba. Membro Honorable and His Excellency.
Sam Ankra will do the job.
Sam Ankra will do the job, right? Good morning.
Good morning, Minia.
Welcome to Kessben Studios.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. Now, important to say.
Nyamina don't be boko.
Fine. That's right. Great to see you. Mahu posters, flyers around. They've been on social media. They've been so hard. Ma uchemo bones the car be or maybe butchery. Any idea? What is the aim of all those things? Are we?
Minia, say bedi no crepa. We shared the last 32 years here. Yeah, my son is a quiet namson and your grandpapa.
Okay.
Our systems have become dysfunctional. The world around us is moving on, and yet our situation or our circumstances as a country keeps deteriorating.
Okay.
A dream ra as a Ghana ni bia o adwen pama kroyi etnase adwene ho se e kwan ben so ene e befa ne asesa e kwan enam so yi because Einstein can say be or sebe obi a only an insane person and a be keep the same direction or keep going to the taking the same friend saying
the same thing, keep
doing the same thing and expecting a different results. Among New Year boy NDC for NPP for you. Form our politics have become more of a business cabal.
Okay.
Nipa kaka credit tenacity the music boom year campaigning when here. As you say, ya winning war until let's share the spoils among themselves.
Okay.
The actual Ghanaian don't benefit from our politics. Naka politics there. And ke fast when say, you bet me aye near the marginalized, people who are deprived to be able to be uplifted from their social standards. Unfortunately, yembisa yehun say sadie happening ana sloganeering any insult why they see people fighting among themselves and unkwana taking over our space.
Okay.
I stepped on this a race to tell Ghanaians say let's be discerning. Let's start thinking through how we appoint leaders.
Okay.
Our country, our continent is poor not because say aid and I say slave trade and I say colonization is poor because we are making the wrong choices. It's a leadership crisis. And see, mitiasi and I say bahasi and ope and I said you who posters and stickers and billboards ni say a time has come for us to do something differently to get a different results.
Interesting. Quite an elaborative word. I don't know what they admire, but I mean, for me, this is the first time I know a encounter. For many Ghanaians, woman name Sam Ankra. Now, woman name will nipa by no. I beg to, ask, say, who is Sam Ankra? And then Obi beside such a questioner. What do you have to tell the average Ghanaian?
Sam Ankra is Ghana mopa.
Okay.
Yo Kumasi, me free such a dumasi, and papa is free, be free Kumasi, be free Accra. Me co school Pokuari school. Me started school for primary school.
Was?
Yes, me co was. In fact, me started primary school. Matters of Uganda, preparatory school.
Kumasi. Interesting.
And I'm co Pokuari school from 1 to upper six. Now me a school prefect. After school, A level, and I went to England to study. I did statistics and economics for the first degree. Now I progressed from there to work as a fund manager. And luckily through that process, I met a very serious leader who mentored me, moved me into investment banking. We set up our own brokerage in London and in Geneva. Now I became the director for emerging markets, which means when it comes to South America, Africa, Asia, the East, the Far East, all these emerging markets between the year from 2009 to 2018, every single president and or finance minister in these countries, I have sat down with them on the face-to-face, discussed policies, initiatives, programs, capital raising, things that would transform these economies.
Okay.
Now, what I realized, and I say all these other places, including Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, listen and they implement these programs. Unfortunately, the African continent hadn't been able to benefit from these things. I was part of the team that designed our first Eurobond.
I see.
And as I say, I did when it comes to governance, when it comes to development economists, when it comes to writing policies or designing programs to uplift the social standards of living, I believe, sir, there's not many that can surpass the ability of Sam Ankara. I come very qualified. I come with a lot of knowledge, skills to be able to present and help us from where we are. We share a situation here. We require an economic recovery. We need a real economic messiah. Somebody with the exposure, practical experience, and hands-on to be able to get this done. Corporate Ghana Limited requires skill to move it forward. Enough is enough. What are people bringing on board? This is what I asked Ghanaians this morning.
Very well. But with this required knowledge, what you may achieve and then the level of achievement you could have used your knowledge acquisition, in supporting the development of our country in diverse ways.
Absolutely.
Why do you want to be president? Why
Absolutely.
The presidency?
Just answering the first question.
Yes.
I don't know if you followed me, but I've been writing articles. I've been advising government on policy. I helped Hawa Kumsin in her ministry by designing the Middle Belt, the Coastal Belt, and the Southern Belt policy. Okay. That was a very powerful initiative which hasn't been implemented. It's just on paper.
Oh, the Southern Belt, the Middle Belt, the Coastal Belt.
It was a transformative structure that was going to turn our economy around if we had gone by exactly what the blueprint says. So I have advised, I have worked. Unfortunately, what I've realized is when you are not in the middle of affairs, when you are not making decisions, you can't do anything. Politicians and I make us say, because of the systems and structures we have which are dysfunctional, it has made existing systems or structures contaminated. Our country hasn't we are not building the nation. It's become deal making. Makoto me die in my winning elections. What are the best deals, quick deals we can do to make our money back, enrich ourselves and our friends, and also find money for the next elections. So in real terms, the Ghanaian is not being looked after. And these are the major reasons why someone like me, with the comfort I'm living in, would put myself on the altar of sacrifice, put myself to scrutiny, go through this process to be able to help do something and save the destiny of a lost nation.
Very well. Quite an interesting one. Mission to become a president. Quite an interesting one. But what is that one single policy? Ghana ni na otiwa no pay no SSO hwe na watu aba amount. We know that under our fourth republic, over 32 years now, independent candidates with fine brains, having survived the test of time, especially going to an extent of winning an election. And see, what is the strategy? What is the core message for the average Ghanaian going into this year's election, almost, 4 months down the line,
Minia, I am calling to develop an affordable economy. I am calling for second independence that would bring economic recovery to our people.
So you find one after the other. Affordable economy, based on which policies, which areas of the economy, and our person will touch it on.
Excellent. I have 22 strategic projects aligned with policies that, if implemented, within the next 8 years, God giving us opportunity, we can create about 10,000 jobs and bring our standard of living as high as we can. Number one, agriculture has been the backbone of our economy since independence. As you and I are sitting here, we are importing about 3 billion worth of food on a year-by-year basis. Ghana has 10 times the arable-sized land than New Zealand. And yet New Zealand produces 10 times more than we do. Why haven't we invested in agriculture? Why are we importing tomatoes, onions, animal intestines to eat? What went wrong? Are we not thinking? So what I'm saying is, what are the factors? Number one, we import about 600 billion worth of fertilizer, which is a key component that would increase the production and yield.
Okay.
Why don't you have a fertilizer plant in Ghana? Enti ye import here ne fertilizer boy din amonone because friends inflation as see cry dey be man say ye see did not depreciate. Enti immediately it affects the what they call it, agriculture. Enti what Saman Cry is saying is within the first 90 days of my administration, if God grants us the opportunity, our administration, we will sign an agreement to put in Ghana a 600,000 metric tons a year fertilizer plant.
Okay.
Making sure that we
build a factory that produce fertilizers over 600,000 metric tons a year.
A year.
I don't know a kind of supplement.
Absolutely. And no bringing the price of cement by as low as 50% of the current price. I have all these figures done. This is proper, studied, bulletproof business ready to run, with partners sitting on standby, waiting for a savior to take over the nation and do. So in that sector,
fertilizers be free and I will be sold because currently, I'm asking so because currently the NDC is promising in times past they were giving fertilizers free of charge to our farmers. I buy way by or turn the mercury for no. Now what is your own policy? Will it be sold and I say a be free for all?
Unia. Free internet taxes after a 3 month.
Okay.
We don't build an economy on taxes. We build an economy on sound economic programs and policies.
Okay.
We are saying the current cost at which we are importing our fertilizer, we would bring it down as low as 50%.
Yes.
If government would some way subsidize poor farmers based on some assessment, yes, we will do so. But what I'm saying is since you are importing 100 cedis per ton, me say nyame adumna se o my kwan ya factory ya be build you chroma say you be ton 50 cedis per ton. Number 2, again, I cannot phantom. A chroma say one of the main challenges are affecting farmers a land tenure situation.
Okay.
And now asasi you obi dia, wo start say o ye adwuma no obi di junction abeto so. Na court I ruling na mo bi for. It doesn't attract investments. Chroma said, yeah, we can play the game and still find ways around the way. But to a foreign investor who means well and has millions and many options, your country will not be attractive to the person. And until I mechanized farming, until I am saying, once and for all, we use blockchain, a digital system, to solve our land tenure issues. And also, over and above that, government guarantee investors who get into mechanized farming on the usage of land. So 40 years lease you say the next 40 years, young government, any legal issue will take care of it and make sure who and your peace of mind to do that. Once we do that, it creates an enabling environment. What is required is technology. So we go to the Western world, places like Israel, Ukraine, who have had very good technology in terms of agriculture, bring them to partner our local farmers. If you have technology, sound economic policies, enabling environment, money will chase mechanized farming. The world needs food. Ghana should be the bread basket for, if not for the entire world, for Africa. This is the policy Samankra is bringing on agriculture.
So that is on the agriculture. Now let's come to the economy. We'll come back again
on policies. Okay, because there's a lot of policies I have.
Exactly, because there are some of the policies are Boswa. There are a lot more questions, but because of time, And see, let's come to the economy. The reality is that we are development economists. You've seen the structure of our economy, our finances, and what the books are telling us. Baby, I say, what's your strategy in salvaging the situation when it comes to the economy and the happenings are across so far?
Excellent. We will domesticate our economy. We will domesticate our economy.
To what extent?
We will domesticate our economy 3 times. Number 1. Again, we go to the you see Yakobo Bosia 3 billion
from IMF.
IMF. And I diabe to us saying a friend is saying call austerity measures hekati pensioners, creating a stifled economy. Meanwhile, just the value of lithium underground is about 170 billion worth of it. President Kufuor said Ghana it is it was a very honest statement. But it takes a transformative leader, a leader with the right requisite skills and know-how to be able to exploit what we have to benefit our people. Samankra is saying, given the opportunity, every natural find from bauxite, gold, lithium, everything will be 100% wholly owned by Ghana.
How possible can that be?
Exactly. We have the asset company, which is the asset, and the operating company. Let me tell you what happened. Just after the Second World War, Norway was a very poor country.
Okay.
They were just a bunch of fishermen and farmers. In fact, the entire Europe was poor, but theirs was severe until they found oil. And when they found the oil, they told the British and the Americans, say, hey, oil no dey himself oh ya seismic shooting, ya everything. Geological report says hey, it's there. But yeah, for mama, what we require from you is train and develop our people. We'll take care of our resources, and then when we start producing and selling the product, we'll pay you for the services offered us. Years down the line, Norway is not just exporting the oil. Norway is exporting the technology. They are one of the world's richest countries. It took a transformative leader who saw beyond his nose from myopic benefits to a long-term benefit for the nation. Why did Ghana do the same? Didn't we see what had happened in Angola, Nigeria, Congo, and all the other places ahead of us?
Yes, but we are talking about capacity in terms of development.
I'm coming.
Now, maybe at the discovery point, Ghana did not have, first of all, the requisite skilled personnel. I explore your natural resources.
I'm coming there.
Crude oil. And you did not have the men to do that job.
I'm coming there.
Again, you did not have the financial muscle, the resource to do the exploration. Yes.
These are the questions you should ask me as an investment banker.
Exactly the questions I'm
So
asking.
you have the asset which is valued. So you have the money. Once the discovery has been done, okay, let's assume that the first block could be given away on that basis. What about the other acreage? You have the value. It's there. What you require is a skills and technology. So I was talking about the Norwegian situation. So they went to America, they went to the British. We will not give these resources to you, but come train our people. We will pay you your money. We will pay you your services offered to us. So what I'm saying is, so you set up corporate Ghana, an operating company. From day one, you bring a consortium of experts from different sectors, from seismic shooting to production. Then you put them into one consortium. The funding will chase because they know, already there's an asset there to be paid. And for maybe 7 or 8 years or 5 years, whatever, they do the work, they exit, and real Ghanaians have been passed the knowledge and the skill to take over and control.
We are talking about a very capital intensive project.
Yes, listen.
What having the opportunity to read the exploration agreement between the Republic of Ghana and, let's say, ExxonMobil, or the Republic of Ghana and Tullow Oil,
Chief,
and how we are developing modalities in taking over those concessionaires.
As we sit here, I am the director for Africa for an oil company called Hemla, based in Oslo, Norway. I am developing hydrocarbons as we speak across the continent. I'm not sitting here as a novice. I am sitting here with experience and skills to tell you, the country did not require $2 billion, $3 billion in account to process our our oil find. All we needed to do is hedge against the operating company, against the asset company, raise money. The investment banks would run after you with their money, knowing there's skills there, knowing there's products there to be able to exploit the product and get their money out of production. It's as easy as ABC. But I said, and let me say it again, this require requisite skills and know-how, the ability to be selfless and think of the people to be able to execute these policies. NDC, NPP had the opportunity. I spoke to both governments, but they failed to do so. Do you know what they told me? Young man, you have an excellent plan. I said, okay, it will turn our economies around. Their own confessions. But your opposition, yeji sika freeway ho, yeji way freeway ho. You promise you away. You promise you away. Until before you realize, even in opposition, they are encumbering the country. This is what Ghanaians need to know. Sir, because of the style of politicking, they are borrowing against the nation and committing the resource of our nation. So when they get to the seats of affairs, they cannot make the right decisions. This is why Samankra is stepping on the line, telling Ghanaians, say, enough is enough. Let's think as people. We have the requisite skills and brains to run our country. This country has so much. Let's develop it and develop for ourselves. I cannot phantom. Not even water for them to drink. An old lady or a young man, do you know what? As a man can goosebump a gumi home. But we've heard it before. For the last 32 years, almost a pond female honor. And on wildlife, and then a cattle, and a sheep, is the same water our kids fetch for us to cook at home.
Very well.
2024. How can we live like that with all this around us?
Very well.
Please.
So you have a lot under your sleeve. We'll do a part 2 of this interview, and then we'll have an extended version of that, because for me, I would want us to go into your policies. The younger generation are much interested in what you are telling them and what you will say to convince them. Eti Mamene will wrap it up on this. Now you reschedule for another time for a part 2 of this. But what will you say to the average Ghanaian to convince them to vote for you and not the NPP and the NDC? Just to wrap up, not your fancy.
Minianum, for the best part of the last 32 years, yenya to abawi ya complaints amo ye nyina wo airwaves and this argument debate yes this you say you must take time important things yentimi are discussing now. We go back to the same, you go back to square one. It tells you, say, these people haven't got what it takes to run this nation. So what Timikasa and Nano pay? Now say was sitting them and society. Was sitting them qua near form. Now fool say Mredu say Moses. Now ye unya be unyan to be Freddie. May mouth that hope no and Nano pay. I am bringing hope to you, say. There's a new style of governance. There's a new competent hands ready to turn things around for you. Vote for Sam Ankara and the Alpha movement, and our lives will never be the same.
Sam, thank you so much for having joined us in the studio. We'll do this again. I mean, we are in the election period.
We have to
do it again.
I'm here.
You have more time to, digest, especially when it comes to health and then education.
Exactly.
The backbone of every economy.
Even the economy. The economy itself.
I'm grateful for having you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam Ankara.